recording
tall.
on.
I know, I feel like I'm so tall.
And go ahead and go. And like I said, I will keep trying to laugh.
Hey!
Welcome to another episode of Tales from the Barside, my friends. It's good to see you on whatever day you're watching this. We're recording it on Monday, but I'm happy to be here.
It's
I'm happy to
podcast
have
day.
Lauren here. Our good friend Andy is here. Dave is here as well. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. So tonight, we don't have many good recent bar stories, unfortunately, because we're not allowed to go to bars. But where we are allowed to hang out and party at is our house. So what better time to talk about awesome house parties, right?
Love it.
It seemed like a good topic to me. I don't know, off the top of my head. I'm known for having a good one every once in a while. Speaking of house parties, first you got to have a good house. So if you've got a really good house for house parties, Dave's in his house right now. If everybody can
Dave has
see.
the best house for a house
He
party.
pretty much, but he's smart. He doesn't invite 10 million people over.
I feel like, so there's the wide angle view. That's, this is the bar that, I spent about 7 years getting done.
Dave, can I just say really quick that the fact that you have two angles of your bar makes me really happy.
Well, it's because it's not really just two angles of the bar. It's because I brought two cams home when I was setting up all this nonsense to go ahead and run everything. And so I've got one that's like the regular, and then I've got the one that's the wide angle shot. And, that way, if I want to throw something up on the TV, I can, and it's there. And because I'm a nerd. That's how that works.
You should do newscasts from in front of your bar. I think that would be good.
I feel like I have a better budget than a lot of the newscasters.
You should put like little info things on the TV behind you, like they have like a little screen behind them.
Like a little news ticker running across the bottom. Hey, it's 4:00. Trump said something else dumb.
Tell us what he said, Dave. Our reporter on the street, Bob Waltonspiel. Good stuff. Anyways, I used to live in a place that had a pretty cool bar that I built, and it did not look like Dave's, but that's just because we were pretty much poor and didn't have it stocked fully all the time. Like, we could barely keep anything in stock because people were over every single night drinking. It was basically like a frat house.
And this is why I don't invite a lot of people.
Exactly. In the middle of downtown Detroit, though, and it's actually, the connecting story about how Dave and I know each other is I was living with my buddy Pants at this place. My brother helped find the place. We were living downtown in like one of those swanky 650 square foot, just one room lofts downtown that there's like a million cookie cutter versions of them. It's got the hardwood floors and the little island kitchenette kind of thing going on.
That today could be yours for the low price of what, $750,000? Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what they go for now. I lived in them in the late 90s, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty hip.
When they were like $200 a month.
Well, they weren't that cheap, and they were very poorly designed. You could hear everything your neighbors did because there was nothing but, two paper-thin pieces of drywall in between you and your neighbors.
A lot of macaroni and cheese, as you love to point out,
Yeah, exactly. If you have a cool swanky apartment downtown Detroit, it definitely does something for the ladies. They like it. Anyways, my brother found a place right over by Campus Martius, about a block away from Campus Martius, if you're familiar with that. And it was a 6,500 square foot loft. So we were able to spread out and have our own rooms and move about and skateboard and play floor hockey. And we had a video game room set up and all kinds of fun stuff. But my buddy Pants moved in with us, and I built the bar. And it was a good bar. The pieces were there. They had when we moved into this place, there was all kinds of junk and trash from people who had lived there before and could never quite completely clean it out or throw everything away. So the first 3 months, we basically spent cleaning it up, getting electricity to all the different rooms, and making it livable. We had to build a bathroom. We had to put in a kitchen sink. We eventually got a dishwasher, like one of those portable kinds. What else did we do to that place? I was building a dark room for photography because I'm a photographer. And man, it was wild. Actually, funny, not really funny, but like I'll never forget where I was on the morning of 9/11 because I was there cleaning that place out. So it was right around that time.
Not funny, but funny.
Yeah, wow, shiny, happy, more, not funny, haha, more, hey, this smells funny. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So we're working on the place and getting ready to move in. We hadn't moved in yet because it wasn't livable. And I come outside and my buddy's like, dude, they're bombing the Pentagon. They're bombing New York City. Like, terrorists are taking over the world. It's going crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they're going to probably bomb Detroit next. Let's get the fuck out of here. We're like, whoa. And then we went and watched the news and saw what was really happening.
I love the green screen.
Anyways, you'll never forget where you were certain times of your life. This
Or the
pandemic
ninth
being
grade.
no exception. Where was I? So I built this bar. It's a good 25-footer with like a curve in it. And we had, just all kinds of space. So we built it in the front room, which had black and white checkered floors. I eventually bought a mop so that I could clean up after people coming over every night.
That is such a single guy thing to say. I eventually bought a mop.
And I bought one of those big industrial kind, like that you would see at any kind of store. I was like, well, this is a huge floor. We're gonna have to like really mop it. A Swiffer is not gonna get it.
Wait, are you talking about the ones that are like the long, like yarn?
Yeah, like the replaceable heads.
It's a mop.
Yeah, that's
the replaceable heads, and then the big yellow bucket with the squishy thing. Because it was.
So you were Carol Burnett.
Well,
is
yeah,
what
the
you're
ones
saying.
I had were like the little sponge.
No.
So you were Carol Burnett at the end of her show, is what you were saying.
Yes, exactly. The area where our bar was about 2,500 square feet just itself. So yeah, it was nuts. We had some wild raging parties. We had people over drinking just about every single night, at least like 6 nights a week. Somebody would stop by because they knew we had this great place, and people were kind enough to bring donations of booze or just, feel free to help themselves to whatever we had and stuff like that. I'm surprised we never, really designed a good kitty jar for people to like, hey, put some money in here and we'll keep this place stocked and stuff like that.
Right. You should have like the podcast studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Studio, just like have like a little donation box. Damn,
I can't believe we never
that's
really
smart.
thought of that. I seem to recall friends giving us money from time to time to
Sure.
replenish our stock, but
Yeah.
we were living in this place during the blackout, which was just a year or two. I think that was 2002, 2003, so right after 9/11.
Yeah,
That was an interesting night because all of our friends who lived downtown and in the area had freezers. So we had a big giant oil drum barbecue up on the roof of this place. And so we decided to clean it up and have ourselves a cookout in the middle of downtown Detroit and pitch black, which was lots of fun. And everybody brought over booze that time. We got pretty silly drunk and did all kinds of silly things. But we had found these old bar stools. And so they were like big and metal and clunky and probably could have used a good reupholstering. They were good. I'm sure they were from some local bar from 20 years before or whatever, but they were suited us just fine. We had, I believe like 6 or 7 of them. So it was like a real deal bar. I built a little step, a little foot rail on it. And I put, I strung that Christmas lights underneath it so that it could be lit up at night and it looked really cool in there. We kept the lighting low. And what I used to do, I had a fun game. Whenever there was like a big crowd of people, because I'm a big show off, being the bartender, like got to have all the attention on me, got to be doing something silly, something crazy, something dumb. So when I'd get nice and saucy, feeling all good and drunk, I would line the bar stools up like bowling pins. So I'd have 3 in the back and then 2 in front of it and then 1 in front of that. And I would get a full head of steam running start, like a good 25, 30 feet as fast as I could and fling myself into them.
Remy!
And knock them all over. And man, I would wake up with bruises all the time. Like, so Pants and I would play like the wrestling game where you'd like slap each other on the chest and do a big Ric Flair woo, just out of nowhere. Stick your chest out and just give them a big chop, or a backhand chop across the chest. So there was lots of bruises and stuff.
God.
But again, alcohol dulls most of these pains. The best thing about the bowling, though, was that if I didn't knock them all down, I would go for the spare.
Why?
I would
Why would
go
you
and try
do
and pick
that? Remy, what the fuck?
It got a pretty good chuckle out of people most times when I did it. One of my roommates, I don't know, he's like, "You're just gonna break the chairs." I'm like, it doesn't matter.
When you wake up the next day, were you like super bruised up and like felt like shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that apartment, I injured myself quite a few times at that apartment. There was one night in particular, I was sipping whiskey from the bottle, and that's always a dangerous concoction, you know. It's like, if you pour yourself a drink, that's one thing. If you do a shot, that's another thing. If you straight just sip from the bottle, like, there's no way to gauge how much you're drinking. And
Right.
so all my friends and my roommates had planned on going out to the bar that night. But by the time it was time to go out to the bar, this was some afternoon drinking I was doing. By the time it was time to go out to the bar, they left me behind. They're like, you're in no condition to even walk to the bar. Like, you're not going to make it. And so they got back from the bar, and I blacked out. I don't remember exactly what I did. But when I woke up in the morning, I was in my bedroom, and I had a rug burn on my face because there were some carpeted areas of the giant loft. And so apparently I tripped. I do remember tripping and falling. Just losing my balance and like face first into the carpet, get a nice rug burn like right up on your forehead. And my neck hurt, and I was shirtless, and I was wearing the pants that I had on the day before, but no underwear. And I'm like, so I've got the pants on from the day before, and I don't have a shirt on, no underwear. I was naked, and they somehow got me back into my pants. That's what happened. And it was later confirmed by my brother. He's like, yeah, your dumbass like got blackout drunk last night, and you were running around the apartment naked. And so we tried to like wrestle you down, and you were just kind of out of control and out of your mind. So my brother threw me into bed. He's like, finally got me into the pants, and he just kind of grabbed me by my belt loops and tried to toss me into my bed. Like, just go to sleep, pass out, you dumbass. Well, he threw me too far, or I lost my balance, and I went right into the wall. And the wall had like, you know, a good size mush in. It wasn't a hole, but it was the drywall had been mushed in.
Like it just kind of like concave.
Yeah, I'm lucky that there was no stud there, because if I would have hit a stud, that might have snapped my neck. But you know, somebody was looking out for me, or something was looking out for me.
Especially if you're all like limp and drunk.
Yeah,
you could have gone straight into that shit.
I did go straight into it, just not the 2x4.
Not the stud though. That's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, you're right. You probably would have broken your neck, or like at least got a concussion or something.
Yeah, well, I didn't feel good the next day, that's for sure. And I learned an important lesson about drinking whiskey from the bottle.
Yeah.
So Remy.
Yeah.
You know I've been in a band for a while, right?
I do know you've been in a band for a while.
So I think I caught on that you guys want to talk about house parties and shit.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, buddy.
So we have this place that we have dubbed the Valhalla for local musicians. It's called the Bacchus Social Club.
The Bacchus Social Club.
Yes.
It's here-ish.
So up by Port Huron.
Yeah. Up in the Thumb, more like the Marlette area, little south of Bad Axe, all that stuff. So we started doing Everybody's Born in Oktoberfest 5 years ago.
I'm not born in October though.
You were at 2.
I was at 2.
I'm November. Is that close enough? Can I come?
We're both November, Remy. We're a week
I
apart.
know we are. Like a week apart.
But
I'm November.
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, there's another November birthday. We got the guitar player here tonight too. I don't know if you've met Dan Lyjack yet.
Don't know if I have, but I'm sure we will.
Sweep over. I'm gonna sweep over. Hey. All right, we're back.
So yeah, we have this Valhalla for local music, the Bacchus Social Club. It's just such a beautiful place. We got Kim, Marty. They pretty much opened their home to just bands to.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really
play.
cool.
The basement is fully fleshed out into its own indoor venue.
Yep.
But weather permitting, and oh god, when the weather permits, it's amazing. They have a double-decker stage out on the back lawn.
It's beautiful.
So we did
I
everybody's
picture it.
we did Everybody's Born in Oktoberfest 3 / Drag Saws Backwoods Bash 3.
Drag Saw is the name of their band.
Nice.
No, this year. I'm talking this year. Because Remy's talking about hurting himself. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So-
okay, I remember.
so I got a good hurting yourself story. So the problem is when you get to Bacchus, like time really is nothing more than a construct. It's there, I guess, kind of. And
I think a lot of people are picking up on that vibe. Like these days, nobody knows what day it is.
We had booked like almost 9 other bands on this show. I believe we were the 10th band. We were
the 9th band.
We were the 9th band because we had one band.
Second to last.
Yeah. Oh no, we were last. So we started drinking at about when you wake up, and it's so beautiful up there. You usually wake up around like 10.
Yeah.
So you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
It's true.
So we're drinking, and it's my birthday show. It's my 30th birthday, and it's like hell yeah. Oh no. It's my 31st birthday. So it's like hell yeah. So
it's
we decide
birthday. It's like you're drinking.
We decide I'm boisterous. Make me MC this event.
Oh God.
So I'm up there introducing bands, and my first couple of introductions were a little rough because I was hitting the sauce a little hard.
Yeah.
Started finding my way, and then it came really close to our time. So I'm introducing the band right before we went on, and I had lost my lighter. So I asked for a lighter, and I saw a guy walk up to the stage, turn around and walk away, and I'm drunk and dumb. So I walked after him and just fell right off the stage.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like in the middle of introducing this band, just there you go. And that's not even where the fun starts. We finally take the stage, and adrenaline just freaking hit, and all the alcohol that I managed to push down a little bit just consumed me. So now I am embarrassing the shit out of myself and my bandmates. I am a mess. I feel so bad for it. I fell over at one point because we believe in solidarity. My whole band just laid down on the ground next to me.
Oh jeez.
I'm trying to sing, but so we somehow managed to make it through the set. With little.
I think what you mean is your audience somehow managed to make it through the set.
Oh no, they loved it. They loved it. It was the most real music you could ever see.
We made a lot of comedy out of it, trust me.
Yeah, it was. You got live metal and a comedy show.
They were laughing with you and at you. So
Exactly.
in solidarity. I like it.
So we get off stage, and
I stopped drinking.
and my beautiful woman.
If I may interject
Oh.
really quick, there was one point where he fell down on stage and kept singing.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
guys in
Yeah,
solidarity.
and me and the bass player Schneider, we just kind of laid down on top of him while he continued to sing and played.
I mean, I'd expect nothing less from a metal show. That's
because I was the most sober one
What?
at that point.
I'm sorry, Remy. What did you say?
I said that makes perfect sense. Metal bands are like that, dude. They're like, if
No,
my brother's going
you're
down, I'm
absolutely
going
right.
down with him.
That's a metal band thing.
And no one missed a beat.
Right, yeah, everybody's still playing.
So we finally get finished with our set, and at this point, I am in no shape to be hanging out with anybody, unfortunately. So you remember Jordan, right? On the show, we were talking about karaoke.
Yes,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, she's the wonderful woman that is burdened unto me, or I am her burden. That's what I meant to say.
Can I just pan over to Jordan really quick so we all
Yeah,
know?
she's here. She can say hi too.
So that way people
Jordan's
who
here
are
too. Let's
watching
say
know
hi
who
to
we're
Jordan.
talking
Yeah.
about. Okay, so we've got a JoJo.
The
Hi,
karaoke
JoJo.
hostess with the mostest.
All right, back
So
to us.
so this lovely woman, it's her birthday as well. This
You guys share a
poor-
birthday.
Yep, same exact day.
Share a birthday, yes.
Not even joking.
Not
Like,
even
I-
joking.
I carded her the first day I met her. So unfortunately, she's taking care of me, and she leaves me in the very capable hands of my buddy Johnny. I had apparently decided I'm going to bed. Done. Going to bed.
That's it.
It's over.
Lights up.
She comes up to Johnny, goes, "Where's Andy?" Took him to bed. So the poor woman is now trying to enjoy herself now that I am no longer a burden to her. And she finally, you know what? I'm going to bed too. She lays down. She's not in bed for 5 minutes before I decide I have to piss, and I'm not pissing the bed.
Come on, don't. Like, please don't.
At this point, it's actually important to note that we are sleeping in a
Please
camper
don't.
that her freaking mother and her stepfather brought. So they're sleeping less than 5 feet away from us.
They're also in the camper.
So I get up to go piss, and to slightly Tarantino it, there was blood everywhere.
Oh, Jesus.
I fell. I smashed my face open.
Blood everywhere.
I cooked my stomach on one of those like portable radiator heaters.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. And
sometimes it's like letting the Tasmanian devil loose, you know?
Yeah.
You're just like spinning around. You have no control over your
There
body.
was blood on my wine jug.
Yeah, I still have pictures of my blood on her wine jug.
It was outside.
And it's and again, my like parent-in-laws are sleeping right there, and they just hear me yelling, fuck, shit, fuck. And Jordan is so nonchalant. That's what I love about it. Allegedly, I believe it. She's right here. She can confirm. She just, what's wrong? I fell. Okay. There's blood. Jordan, where is it coming from? My face.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Let's get a look at you. I gotta pee. I managed to get out of the camper, and it took oh God, it's Ed.
Oh God.
Oh.
So there's a picture of like his stomach, and it is like
the day
it's
after.
disgusting. It is
show up
like
well on
black.
camera.
We'll try and show it. but
Black
Gore
and blue. Huh?
alert.
Oh yeah, that's not.
I don't know if you
work.
can
Oh,
see it. Nope,
nope,
you
it
can't.
won't.
Nope.
We're gonna have to share that to the.
We'll
to
share
the
it
we
to
can
the
page.
do that,
Instagram.
yeah.
We'll
So,
share it to the Facebook.
Yes, we'll
So,
put it up there so everybody can
There's
see
blood
how
everywhere.
bruised up you were.
Apparently, I do make it outside to piss, which was a question that I asked a week later. Like, did I piss myself? Or no, I did make it outside to piss. On my return trip, I went to go back into the camper and just fell into everything.
Oh.
So now I took out a nice little camping table. I have just ruined everything. I would not let Jordan look at my wounds that night.
Oh no! Did you need
It was
stitches?
bad.
And
I
then-
probably did need stitches, but he did
Yeah.
not get
No,
stitches.
there wasn't any open.
No,
cut.
it was just
Probably
cooked.
could've.
It was just
It was
cooked.
burn.
It was more
Blech.
cooking.
Like,
So the
Cooking
next
and
morning,
raising.
and then to get back to house parties, though, Bacchus is such a beautiful, wonderful place. When you wake up there after a show, anybody who's left, you get treated with this wonderful breakfast made by one of the best cooks I've ever met. Then there's a Bloody Mary bar and mimosas.
Did you bring extra bloody to the Bloody Mary
Oh,
party?
I brought all the bloody. So our drummer Rich, he walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, you want a Bloody Mary?" And I'm just sitting there going, mimosa. So yeah, I brought a lot of blood to that party.
all I was going to tell you is about my friend saying I have a really small dick and pulling it out and then falling into a fucking bonfire, but never mind.
So did he in fact have a really small dick?
Was that me?
He did, though.
He did have a really
Like,
small dick.
really?
Yeah,
like,
micro
it-
penis.
out of his shit.
well,
Am I
okay,
that
so,
friend?
no. So,
Oh.
in reality, long story shortened, basically we were all drunk, we're all still hanging out, whatever. There's this bonfire. I should have told this last week because I forgot all about it. We did the bonfire stories. I
Continuation.
should have
That's
told it
okay.
last week. I didn't.
Continuation.
So
Nobody
we're
cares.
sitting there, and I was just like, I think I said something along the lines of like, you know, you can never. There's nothing worse than a small dick or something like that.
Right.
Oh, I have a small dick, and he like stands up,
he's like,
and I was like,
finally, I get to be proud of it.
he was
Story that I can be proud of.
wasted. He was wasted, like so drunk that I don't think that he would even remember the story.
He was
And,
just like, fuck it. I got
Yeah, he
a
was
small
like,
dick.
oh, I have
Yeah.
a small dick, and like stood up really fast. And then I was like, oh yeah, let's see it. And he like pulled his pants down so fast and so hard that he like did a 180 and like fell into the bonfire.
Yep, lost
and all
his
of
balance.
us had to like reach in and pull him out at once.
Oh, fuck.
And then his pants were still down. I was like, dude, like it's true.
Yeah,
We all see that you have a small dick.
you got a little
And then-
acorn there, buddy.
An acorn.
Little acorn, little Vienna sausage.
Oh my God! Shut the fuck
Cocktail
up. That's
weenie.
hilarious. Okay.
Micro penis. Aw, that's
So
too
then,
bad.
I
He
think,
burned the shit out of himself, dude.
I think that was the same night that I caught him like pissing in the sink of my house, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he was
Did he
like,
have to like stand on his tippy toes to get it all the way up and in?
I made him come over the next day and do my dishes. I was like,
yeah,
"Yo,
bro.
that's like fucked up.
That's
Don't
disgusting.
you can't just like piss in my
Can't pee in my
dishes."
sink.
That's fucked up, dude.
Like, I
You
don't want
have
you
to
to be in the
like
bathroom.
do
sink.
them.
Listen,
I'm
if,
not gonna
if,
do them.
if there's ever like an emergency pee situation, okay, like the laundry tub is the only halfway acceptable place
Absolutely.
to
I
do it.
100% agree with that. I have
Got it.
hovered over a laundry tub
Right,
at
dude.
least 1,000 times.
Like it's they look gross. They can be easily bleached and cleaned. It's not
Yep.
where dishes are going. You don't
Nope.
put anything in there except for
Yep.
the
I-
laundry water.
I
So,
prefer to
yeah,
piss in the laundry tub.
If it's an emergency, I'd rather that you didn't. But like, if you gotta go somewhere, like not a plant, not my bedroom, not
If
the
you're gonna blow the
sink,
shit
the
up,
dishes.
I'm going in
Right.
the goddamn laundry tub.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. That's
Atta
how
girl.
it is. I'm not going in to bask in your glory. I am literally just going to go straight to the laundry tub.
I don't want to smell the brownies that you're
No, no. I have an open window, a fan, candles, aerosol. If it
Right?
still smells like your
It's true.
open butthole inside of my fucking bathroom,
I'm
I'm
go pee
going
in the
straight
laundry
to
tub.
the laundry room and I'm pissing in that shit. You have nothing you can say that's gonna make me decide otherwise. I don't want
Girls
to
have to-
smell your shit.
Is
Girls
that
have to
the
have like a
lifestyle?
step ladder or something by it. You
Wait,
should.
what?
You should. So
You
girls have to
have-
have some sort of step ladder or something behind. Because like a guy can
No!
just, you know.
I'm just really good at hovering. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
Wow.
How do you hover that high?
okay, this is a true story. I'm gonna tell you something right now. When I was
Go
a
for it.
kid, and my dad could attest to this for sure, I used to watch TV and I would put my hands down on the carpet and I would put my legs over my shoulders. I would stand up on my hands and I would swing back and forth.
Yeah.
However, I was a ballerina my entire life. From
Yeah.
like 2 all the way up to 18, I was a ballerina. So doing stuff like that was not weird. Contortion shit was not weird. I, could do all kinds of stuff. So I would swing like that. And now later on, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's true. But I still have this like upper body strength that I can like hold myself up
Yeah.
enough to piss in a fucking laundry tub.
I like it. So there you go, Andy. Our question has been
But that's
answered.
about it. But that's about it.
Girls, especially if they're ballerinas, learn how to hover at a young age, whereas boys don't need to hover.
But wait, as a
Unless
PSA,
you've got a micro penis and a little acorn.
as a PSA, I have to say, bitches, if you're going inside of bathrooms and you're hovering, fuck you. If you don't fucking wipe that shit down, because hovering actually causes more backsplash than anything.
Ah.
So wipe it down.
Wipe it down.
Wipe it down.
There's a damn global pandemic going on here, people. I think everybody's going to be a little more cautious when we come out of this using
I have
public
not
restrooms.
seen a
I hope so.
restroom.
I hope that's what
Oh,
this
yeah.
does, is that it makes everybody like a lot cleaner in public restrooms and public places in general. Like, just be aware.
I've
Just be
seen
aware.
some people
Don't be
do
filthy.
stupid shit though. I've seen people sneeze and then pick up stuff at the grocery store and put it down. And I'm like, yo, that's fucked up.
Very fucked
Don't
up.
do that.
No, don't. And learn how to hover correctly, damn it.
Hover
Upper
like a
body strength.
professional, please. Please. Because I can like
Hover
seriously
like-
piss in like
Hover like you've done it
5
before, sis.
seconds.
Hover like you've done it before. For sure.
For real.
So I gotta know, did micro penis guy, like, was he burned up? I mean, like, sounds like he had a pretty good night. You know, he fell into the fire. He showed everybody his tiny penis. He got caught showing his penis again when he was pissing in your sink.
No, he didn't burn himself up. Like I said, as soon as he fell, like a bunch of us like grabbed him and we pulled him right out. So
Right.
it wasn't that big of a deal. But it was the same guy that broke up with his boyfriend while he was throwing up in the corner. So
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we remember that guy.
same guy. Mr. Wiggles.
Mr. Wiggles, Mr. Tiny Acorn Penis, fall in the fire, break up with your boyfriend while vomiting.
I love him though. He was great.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I hope wherever he is today, he's happy and safe
I'm sure he is.
and not falling into fires
He'll
anymore.
be fine. If not, then well,
You know,
he will.
a good time in moderation with alcohol can just be such a blast and so much fun. But there's kind of a fine line, and I think like some of our stories tonight illustrate that fact.
I mean, most of the parties that I've been to at houses, really like someone falling into a fire is really the catalyst.
Yeah, it kind of happens
Like
a lot.
once someone
careful
falls
around
into
the fire.
fires, then you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Lolo, your butt.
I'm sorry, my butt.
She doesn't
I'm
know
in
the
the
size
way
of her own booty. She's knocking over hockey pucks and stuff.
Oh
Respect the shrine.
She's gonna need to get back in. We're gonna
Who
have
you
to
got
figure
there?
out a better way. What's that?
I said, who you got there? Somebody got some hockey pucks. I see a little
Oh.
40 Howe behind you. And
Oh, we have. This is actually. Is this backwards to you guys?
no, maybe.
So this is the Gut Shots Trailer Hood Tavern.
Oh, nice.
I guess Danny Boy
Me again.
and I would be the proprietors along with Jordan
I'm back.
from outer space.
The fastest.
Defense. She just, well, what she does is she goes into the bathroom, she hovers real quick, and then
I just like stand over it. I pee and then I immediately
And then she
wipe
wipes
it.
that shit.
I do
down.
wipe it down. I do, actually.
treats it like a big female urinal. I like it.
Like a trough. I just stand over it.
Stand
and
over the
then,
trough.
like-
Let fly.
Every time I hear that word, I think of Joe Louis Arena.
Oh
Every
god.
time.
Wait a minute. Okay, so tell me something. Are
Yeah.
troughs like a really common thing then?
They used to be
Old
back in the
school
day.
Arenas, yes.
So yeah, old arenas used to have them all the time, and they're disgusting.
Oh,
And it's fucking
Uh,
horrible.
I
And
have
they're-
no idea. Every
they're
place I've
very-
ever worked at has had urinals.
So they're very creepy, and I don't like them at all. And they smell, and it's gross. It reminds me, it's like, what are we living in like the 1400s here? What's going on? Like cobblestone
Right.
streets, and everybody just like pisses into a trough. Anyways, the worst one ever though is there's a small one in a bar in Detroit, and so you walk into the men's room, and there's just like a big. It looks basically like a really skinny long bathtub. You know, it's just like this big trough with space for about 6 or 7 guys to stand there and pee, and then there's I think their actual toilet has like a door, you know. But I've been in some places where the toilets don't have doors and whatever. Anyways, this particular trough has a mirror on the wall right by it. So not only are you supposed to stand there with your dick in your hands, peeing next to other people, but there's a mirror so everybody's dick is reflected in it. Horrible. It's the worst idea for a bathroom ever. I'm like, I don't
Just
want
look
to
at
pee
it.
in a trough next to some dude and like even catch it a glance out of my side eye. I definitely don't want a full frontal like from a fucking mirror. I don't know who was thinking what when they put that shit in, but it does not work for me. I'm not a fan.
You thinking whites?
The first bar that I got my start at, really, with karaoke here in Michigan, I won't name it. Anybody that knows me knows it. The men's bathroom did not have a lock on it. And
Yeah.
it literally had 2 urinals against the wall right next to the door. So if anybody opens the door, here's your dick.
You're looking at the dick.
Yeah.
Here's your
Right,
dick.
exactly.
And then
Right
it had a toilet. So, dude, if you had to take a shit at this place,
there.
sorry for your loss.
Yeah, exactly.
You
might as well just put a sign on the outside of the door like occupied. Somebody's in here.
Oh yeah,
shitting.
no, you know how it goes. You got your homie. You're like, hey, can you watch this door for me?
Yeah. You gotta do that.
So
Somebody's
it was
standing there
one of
like,
those bars, like, dude.
Don't go in there, bro.
So I had right before this quarantine hit, I had just revisited that bar, and their solution, and it only took them, I don't even know how many decades, because this has been a bar that's our parents had frequented, our grandparents might have.
Oh yeah,
They
from
got-
generation
You
to
put a little
generation.
shower
Everybody goes.
curtain, little shower curtain rod around the actual toilet.
Oh, there
There's
you
a
go.
little bit of privacy
It's a
there.
little bit. I mean,
There's
it's
some privacy.
It's nothing
adorable.
about if you're pissing in the urinal though, and somebody opens the door.
Nice.
Well, no, then everyone's
But-
gonna look at your dick then.
But-
I'm sorry. The best one that I've seen recently is still so the hotel where they have Astronomicon. and
Yeah.
I think you guys stopped by there.
Yep.
So the men's room, you walk in, the one that's in the lobby. It is urinal divider, urinal divider, urinal divider, urinal. And so it just like so there was it was my buddy.
In case buddies want to like hold hands.
Oh, so totally. So Bob and Eric Gutierrez were in there, and those were the two stalls that were open, and they're both pretty big guys. You can kind of imagine those logistics happening. So they're standing at those two, and then it works out that like everybody, the other three people leave, and so they're the only two guys standing at the urinals. And I forget which. I'm so mad. I'm blanking on this. It was one of the pro wrestlers that was one of the guests. There walks out of the stall, goes over, washes his hands, and as he's walking out, he goes, "You two boys are going to have yourselves a good dark match," and turns the lights out as he's walking out.
No way.
Absolutely happened.
That actually happened?
Absolutely
Oh
happened.
my God, I would die.
Yeah, you
That
two
is
boys
so
are going to have
fantastic.
yourselves a dark match.
Oh man, that's a good practical joke. That's always a funny one to me.
That's
like
really
turning off the
good.
lights
I
on
like
somebody
that.
when they're in the bathroom.
Well, so then there's the oh my God, the Kit Kat Club. If you're not familiar with it, it is a bar that used to be a house in the middle of the neighborhood. Legend and rumor has it that it's named the Kit Kat Club, all three with K's, because at once upon a time, allegedly, it was like the Grand Dragon of Michigan from the KKK lived there.
Makes sense.
It was his house. And it was and it's the same kind of thing. Like you walk in, there's no door on the stall, and there's a urinal there. And we're there one night, just drunk as hell, having a grand old time. If you've never been there, I highly recommend it. Obviously not now, but the best part is there's the karaoke host is like 400 pounds, and if you tell him that it's somebody's birthday, he gets them up on stage and then strips down to a thong while he's singing them happy birthday. It's the best.
Oh,
But so, no, for real.
Oh my God.
And so,
I just found out where we're going for our birthdays.
absolutely.
I
So
missed that.
one night we're
I
there, and I get down off stage, and they'd ordered another round of shots, and so I do a shot. I'm like, all right, I got to go take a leak, and I go and I walk back to the bathroom, and I open the door, and I immediately slam the door, and I come back, and I'm laughing my ass off, and Bob like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, okay, man, I said I need to paint this picture for you. I'm like, all I saw was a giant ass covered in crap, and a guy bending over facing the toilet wearing a Lions jersey. And that was
No
enough for
crap?
me that like I just had to run away.
Yeah.
And so like maybe like 10 minutes later, this guy comes walking out of the bathroom wearing a Lions jersey. Bob's like, is it the guy? Is it the guy? Is it the guy? I'm like, yes, Bob, clearly that is the guy, you 11-year-old fool. Yes.
Wait, Dave,
Yes.
did you ever go to Mephisto's?
Maybe it's ringing a bell.
So, I just know that you and I both share the like that type of
It's
the
yeah.
rope and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. That's why. Yeah.
It was like a house.
Yep. Sorry. That took me a sec. Yep.
You did go there?
I have been there once.
Oh my God. It was like the same kind of situation there.
Yes.
Like
Very much
you would
so.
go in and then there were like, it was literally like a house. And then they had like a small bar and like
Yep.
one of the bedrooms was converted into like a dance area. And then they had like an upstairs area where you could like watch movies or what. It was
Yep.
like a house. It was like very much so like a house.
There is one around here by where I live in Clinton Township that has been operating for a long, long time. And everybody just calls it the basement bar. And it is hilariously, so it's a bar about the size of mine. In somebody's basement that's about the size of mine. And from what I understand, there is a 3-ring binder with listings of all of the ladies that will come by and be strippers or whatever else you might be looking for over the course of the evening.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's giving us the speakeasy.
this is Michigan, man. I mean, this. I bet. So that was actually one of the best. I think when we did the Shot of History remote down at Whiskey in the Jar, they had the guy who was the chair of the Hamtramck Historical Society. there, and he's written about 10 books, and one of the books is the history of drinking in Hamtramck during Prohibition. And and listening to him just relate these stories about how many.
That's kind of interesting, though.
Oh yeah, just how many I mean, Michigan's kind of known for it. I mean, you look back, all the, you hear about, Capone and Prohibition and all that kind of stuff, but pretty much all of that flowed through here, because
Canada was so close. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, all the runners. I mean, who was it? It was one of the U of M basketball players that bought the house in St. Clair Shores that had the tunnel underneath the river out to the island.
Oh yeah,
that they
makes
used to
sense.
use. Oh yeah, no, for real.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of that.
I never heard of that.
Oh, there's a lot of that stuff here in the area. It's fascinating.
They used to. It's sometimes the river. Well, the river wouldn't completely freeze over, but every once in a while it would get frozen enough to where people could go across it or try it, chance it.
The only tunnels I ever knew that one of my friends was connected to was in the Northville insane asylum tunnels.
Yep.
So and I know that those are all cemented in now.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the ones out here have been too. I mean, it's really, really rare when you find one that hasn't been. But yeah, so, and I feel like we would all be remiss if you're talking about bathrooms and drunk and bad situations. Let's talk about the built-in sobriety test that are the bathrooms at Lafayette, Coney Island.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that staircase is the Temple of Doom. It is Raiders of the Lost Ark. It is. It is. I mean, that's literally, it's a built-in sobriety test.
Dave, in Ann Arbor,
yeah,
in Ann Arbor at what is it called? Oh my God, they have the hippie hash and stuff. What is that? What's that called?
Yeah, brain cramp.
Fleetwood.
Yes.
The Fleetwood. It's
the Fleetwood's got an interesting.
Every time you go to the Fleetwood, if you have to go to the bathroom, if you can make it back up, you're sober.
Yeah.
If you can't make it back up, then you're just gone forever, or people have to come down and get you and find a way to get you back to your house.
Right. Get a search party.
Strangely similar. I haven't been to the Fleetwood in years, but I used to go there a lot, and yeah, definitely known for its bathroom.
Yeah, well, even when you go down there, it's an insane amount of graffiti and stickers, and it's within a block of the 8 Ball, which everyone knows that there's a bunch of fucking artists that have gone through the 8 Ball. I personally have seen MC Chris and a few other people there, and when they go through there, it's just they leave their autograph down there, or they just will do something that it's why would you ever want to pay for that,
Right. The Blind Pig's a couple of blocks away as well.
I'm sorry?
The Blind Pig's a couple of blocks away as well.
Blind Pig is below 8 Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. Blind Pig and or above 8 Ball. Blind Pig is right there, and then 8 Ball's right downstairs. And it's the Blind Pig and 8 Ball both have, first of all, terrible bathrooms. And second of all, they're within the Fleetwood. So that's another bathroom that's also terrible.
Bob chimed in on the chat to remember it was Chris Weber who owned that house.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
We appreciate it.
Bob, who was the you boys are going to have a dark match wrestler? I couldn't remember. I told that story.
Yeah, I want to know too. I want to know about that too.
Razor Ramon.
While he's wearing his PBR jacket.
Right. Almost inevitably. Almost inevitably.
Oh wait, this past Astronomicon?
No, this was the year before.
The year before, okay. Yeah. I remember you telling me that story, or maybe I'm so sorry. Or maybe even Ming telling me that story, but I remember somebody was saying the same thing. It was super fucked up situation.
I mean, I feel like that describes all of Astronomicon. I really.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
So nobody's having any house parties these days, but we're definitely going back and reminiscing, going down memory lane. I used to live in a house in Detroit that was west side of Detroit, pretty nice neighborhood at the time. And my roommate had a big above ground pool out back. So summertime was filled with barbecue parties and he drove a motorcycle, so a bunch of biker kind of guys would show up and hang out. Friends with a few of the biker type people. Good house parties, man. Always everybody on their best. Because when you're hanging out with bikers, you want to be on your best behavior. Like people tend to not get out of line. We get drunk, we'd cook and play in the pool and stuff. But we were always amongst friends and always kept it cool. But I do remember one time almost dying because the roof to the garage was close enough that if you got a good running start and weren't hammered drunk, you could run and jump and land in the pool, because it was a big above ground pool.
God damn it, Remy.
Dude,
I'm like, this is the worst thing you could do.
the I'm a golden god scene from Almost Famous, standing up there. But that's what we do, It's like it's that summertime, summer fun. I saw somebody stumble but still make it into the pool. He stumbled on his run up and caught himself and was able to just barely leap into the pool. I think like his feet hit the edge, and that was about the worst that happened one time. I was always successful in it, but I could have died at any time, for sure. Harrowing misses, jumping off roofs and into pools.
I mean, it's a thing.
I wasn't drunk because I was a child, but you said something about like being up on the roof and everything. And when this is just like something I remember, when I was a kid, my uncle, my cousin and I used to hang out, like we would go onto the roof of her garage and we would like play up there. And it was like a flat garage, like it was like flat. So it didn't,
flat roof,
it was like short. So it wasn't like this huge, we would play up there. And I remember my Uncle Willie being like, oh, I'm going to like set up a pulley system.
I'm sorry. Can we talk about the fact that you had an Uncle Willie?
Yeah, Uncle Willie. I had multiple. So my cousin Christine and we would like go and hang out and like party our 13-year-old selves on top of this like little garage, and we would be like, yeah, we had like little virgin daiquiris that we would like make and whatever. So we would party up there. And I remember very distinctly my uncle was like, okay, I'm going to make a pulley system so you can pull each other up. And she was on top of it, and so was I. And I was like, I'm going to lower myself down. And she was like, oh, I'll lower you down for you because we have a pulley system now.
Yeah.
And I stepped onto it, and I immediately fell straight down to the ground.
Yeah.
I hit my like orbital bone onto the fence.
Oh, shit.
I had a black eye. And I remember my aunt being like, please don't tell your dad like that we're sending you home with a black eye and how that happened.
You definitely could have died.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't have died. I could have hurt myself. I hurt myself pretty bad, but I could have hurt myself way worse. And I just like remember that it was like one of those things where like afterwards you were like, why the fuck would anyone let you do that? Why would you let us do that? And it's like they were getting drunk, and I was like, what if we were getting drunk? Like,
nah.
I've thought about that later on in life. Like, what if I was drunk in any of these situations?
I'm not saying it has
I've done.
Well, when you're
come out
drunk,
better.
you're like rubber.
Right.
When you're drunk, you're
yeah.
like rubber, so you just bounce back.
I'm not saying it has anything to do with the fact that his name was Uncle Willie. I'm just saying that was a poor choice, Uncle Willie.
What the fuck, Uncle Willie?
What the fuck, Uncle Willie? Ah, well. You didn't die. You're good.
It was Scott Hall / Razor Ramon. That's exactly who it was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so when did Jake the Snake go?
How did I know that was the kind of hijinks he would be up to?
All I want to do is tell Jake the Snake about my dad. That's all I want to do.
I think he was there the first year, if I recall correctly.
I thought so too, and like I remember looking for him, and I talked to Ming about it, and like he had left for some reason, or he was coming back, or whatever the case was. When I went there, he wasn't there, and like all I cared about was telling him that my dad looked identical to Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh yeah, he was there last year. He was there for the second year.
Last year?
Yeah, so it was not the one like a little bit ago, but the one last year. Yeah.
Okay. There was some reason why he wasn't there when I was there, because I was trying to see him. Because in reality, and I will even post this on our Instagram, I'll post it on our Facebook, whatever. My dad.
Could be him.
My dad, my entire life growing up, looked identical to Jake the Snake Roberts, to the point where when he would leave, I would be like, oh, you're going to go fight whoever? And he was like, yep. And he would come back and be like, man, that was a crazy fight between me and so-and-so. And I was convinced. I told all of my friends that
you showed me pictures. It absolutely does.
He is Jake the Snake. Like, straight up, he's Jake the Snake. It's like insane to me. So all I want to do is bring a picture of my dad and me when I was a kid and have Jake the Snake like sign it without knowing it's me.
That
and
it's
my
not
dad.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I just really want him to do it so bad.
If he just takes a glance at it and thinks, yeah, that's probably me.
He would never know. Like, Remy, I'm not even joking. I will literally post this shit. I will show it to you.
Put it up on the gram. Put it up on the pages.
You literally would have no idea that it's not him.
That's awesome. Like, all he needs is the pet snake.
Shit you not. I would be like, where's the snake? And he's like, oh, we have to leave it at the stadium. Like, we have to leave it there. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. He was, like, the best. Like, I would have never known that it wasn't him.
Did not believe it.
Jake the Snake was a good wrestler.
In like third grade or fourth grade, I told everyone my dad was Jake the Snake. And they
awesome.
all believed it.
Ate it up. Eat it up with a spoon.
For real.
My God. Yeah, but I mean, it starts in high school, I think. High school is where the house party begins. Like, you go to your first house party where there's alcohol and drugs and bad decisions, and people hurting themselves. And for me, it was this kid who had, like, dropped out, not graduated, was like 3 years older than everybody, but still hung around with the high school kids, and he had his own place. And so it was like, when you're a senior in high school and somebody that who's a couple years older has their own house with no adults around, like, that's where we're partying this weekend. Right. But eventually the cops get called, and that's where fights break out, and high school dumb stuff like that. I got jumped at a party like that one time. Some guy decided to, like, just attack me out of nowhere from behind, and then like 3 or 4 people were stomping me, and it was like, whoa.
Really?
Then it gets broken up, and I'm like, all right, this was that was cool. Like, good job, guys.
Like
you really fought a great fight there. But
I also hung out with a lot of people that were like playing D&D and fucking
a little more on the chill side.
So they weren't like jumping people, but they were like jumping people, so to speak, in the game.
Right.
Killing them off.
They were rolling wicked 20 is what they were doing. They were
straight up like 20, and I was like, oh,
crit hit.
I wish I would have been so lucky. It wasn't a bad beatdown, it was like I got hit a few times, a couple of minutes, and then it got busted up, and
Remy, it sounds like you were way more popular than I was.
Apparently not with this guy. He didn't like me for whatever reason.
It's just like,
I don't know why.
Like, the type of shit that you go through from like when you start drinking to like when you get to the point that we're at right now, where it's like, I'm gonna be 33, and we're older now, and it's
still drinking.
It's insane to think about like the shit that I did when I was a kid versus the people that are the same age as me and what they're doing. It's
fair
weird.
enough. Everybody's got their own little journey. Their own little path.
It's just a little. Everyone has a little branch to go off of.
Right. All the branches behind me.
So, Dave, do we have to wrap it up, or what's going on?
Probably should, because I got to get us up and running. In fact, Ming just posted something lovely on Facebook.
Oh my God!
He tagged you guys in it. He said he posted a picture of himself sitting behind the mic, and he says, "Hey, just waiting patiently for Lauren Walker and Remy Smith from Tales from the Barside to hop off the Podcast Detroit stream."
Oh my God!
We'll be here live at 9 o'clock.
Wait, can I?
Thank you, Ming. We love you.
can I just make like an extra little thing saying that I love Ming Chen so much. He is like my favorite person in the world. I'm so sorry, Dave and Remy. You guys are both my favorite people too. But
We're not jealous.
I love you, Ming. You're the best. I think you're amazing. And you're so great. And you should be on our podcast next, since you have nothing else to do.
Yeah, we totally should
Next
make that
week.
happen. Duh.
Let's see if it happens.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll message
I
me,
also love
sure.
Ming Chen.
Message
And I
me,
also
Ming.
love you guys. I love each and every one of you. Andy, thanks for joining us
Thanks,
tonight.
guys. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
telling
We
stories.
love you.
If Lauren, you want to plug our little pluggy plugs there?
Yes,
Give people
please.
the digits.
So if you have your own stories to tell about the times that you have worked at, or been a part of some kind of bar or service industry situation, please send your stories or a snippet of your story to barsidetales@gmail.com. You can also see us at our Instagram at tales_from_the_barside. Please send us anything that you want us to talk about, and we have no problem saying your shit on our air too. So
Yes.
we'll share it
absolutely.
with you.
Thank you so much, guys. We will see you next week.
Love you. Bye.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.